Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt, content producer for OddsJam. And since today's Monday and there'll be football tonight, we'll be placing some $100 positive expected value bets. I know that I've had a little bit of a rough go of it these past couple videos. Unfortunately, I've still been doing incredibly well overall. As you can see, this past week I'm up over $800, over 850. Last week I was up over 650. Unfortunately, for the two videos I did last week, both of them lost. So 0 for 4 on those two videos. That's tough. But like I said, I've still been extremely profitable doing some positive expected values. So it's a little bit of bad luck that the bets I've placed for these videos haven't hit, but I've still profited overall. These are still good bets to place. It's just been a little bit of bad luck. So wanted to make sure I got ahead of that before this video, so people understood that. I know that it's been a little bit of rough these videos past couple weeks, but the 4 picks have been doing well. Those have been consistently profiting, and don't worry, these videos will these picks will start doing well. So for today, the game tonight, we've got the Chiefs versus the Giants. Obviously, Vegas is expecting a blowout here with the best money line you can find on the Chiefs at minus 500. They need a win, right? They've been reeling recently. They just got blown out by the Titans. Seems like every good team they've played, they've lost. They've lost to the Ravens, the Chargers, the Bills, and the Titans. All those teams have winning records. Their 3 wins are against the Browns, the Eagles, and the Washington football team. And I believe with the Browns' loss yesterday to the Steelers, they no longer have a winning record. So they play the Giants, who, despite always kind of playing well in random games, I think people remember them beating the Seahawks last year when Daniel Jones wasn't even playing. The Giants are still a bad team, right? They don't have a winning record. They have one of the worst records in the NFL since the playoff year they had 5 years ago. They're still regarded as one of the classiest organizations, and I'm not saying that they're not, but what I am saying is that they're a bad football team. So the Chiefs, who, it's funny, when the Chiefs played the Eagles, they were in need of a win. They blew them out. Then the Chiefs lost to the Bills, and then they were in need of a win, so they played the Washington football team, and they blew them out. Now this week, the Chiefs, coming off a bad loss to the Titans, need a win, and guess who they play? A terrible NFC East team. So I'm expecting the Chiefs to win this. I'm expecting the Chiefs to win this comfortably. If you look at, like I said, the money line was the best odds you can get were minus 500. They're about 10.5 point favorites on most places you can find them. So Vegas is expecting a blowout. So where do we find value? Well, let's check out the positive expected value page. So I found 2 plays that I really like. They're the ones highlighted here. All I did to find them was I went to the betting tools, positive EV, and then I just control F Chiefs. And this first one, the Darrell Williams under 2.5 receptions. This is a bet that I'm glad I have the positive expected value page highlighting these bets for me, because it's not one that I would have thought of. So if we look at the line itself, we're getting it at minus 143 based on the sharpest tool, the OddsJam sharpest odds. Excuse me. We're getting that at minus 143 based on just the sharpest line. And the bet that we're placing it on, the book, is WinBet at minus 115. So if we want to take out the VIG and find the true line, so we got minus 143 and plus 108. Let's go back to calculators. No VIG, fair odds. Minus 143 plus 108. So it looks like the true line that the Pinnacle and that the OddsJam sharpest line has this at is minus 122. That gives it about a 55% chance of hitting, as you can see here, this win percentage. And we're getting those at minus 115 odds. So that's where the positive expected value comes in. Based on the true line, the true sharpest line, we're getting about those 7 points positive expected value, and which is 115 on WinBet. So there is showing kind of how we find out that the bet is profitable. And then if you want to look at the football reasons, so Darrell Williams has become the starting running back, de facto starting running back, now that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is hurt, right? So if you're just looking at the bet itself, 3 catches he probably should hit, right? If you look at his history, so receptions, he's hit that in the last 3 games, but just by 1, right? He's only hit it he got exactly 3, 1 over. The other 2 times, only 2 receptions. And you can see a huge jump in his snap percentage from the week Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt. 43 to 72, and then down to 64 the previous game. So the reason why the football reasons why I think this is a good bet is because he's not really their true passing down running back. That's actually Jerick McKinnon, who is the next bet I have, the Jerick McKinnon over receiving yards. But keeping on Darrell Williams, so his snap percentage was up a lot in a game against Washington where they blew them out because they were running the ball. And last week, they were losing the whole game, so he wasn't on the field as much, down to 64%, which is obviously still the majority, but it's not as high as 72. And while I do think that the Chiefs are going to blow out the Giants, I think that the Chiefs are just in desperate need of a good game, especially Pat Mahomes. So I think they're going to come out aggressive. They're going to come out passing. And my guess is that this is going to be a little bit closer to the game against the Eagles, where he might have had 10 carries, but he only had 2 targets. And of course, he caught both those targets, but he only had 2, and that obviously would have hit the under. And in a game like this against the Giants, who actually do have a decent run defense, where they really struggle is through the air, I think that the Chiefs are going to pass a million times, and that's going to mean that Darrell Williams won't see the field as much. So he's mainly their primary running back, which is why against the Eagles he had 10 carries. He had 21 carries against the Washington football team, but you can't run as well against the Giants, so they're going to be passing more, which makes me think that he's not going to be in the field as much. This also feels like a get-right game, that they're going to feature their weapons in Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, their studs. So, and that's just, Darrell Williams just isn't a passing running back. You're right, that's not his game. That's not what he does. So that's why I think, despite recent history suggesting that he's gone over, he's done it by 1 catch. And in a game like this, where they probably are going to blow out the Giants, I think they're going to do it throwing the ball, and they're really just going to try and get the offense right. As good as the offense has been, the turnovers is what killed them. So Andy Reid has, he's been known to be good at rallying the troops. Obviously, they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They were in the Super Bowl last year. While their offensive line is still young and gelling, the Giants don't really have the pass rush to try and beat them. They're really good at stopping the run. That's kind of what the man, Dave Gettleman, that's what he likes to do. So my first bet is going to be this Darrell Williams under 115, under 2.5 receptions. We're getting that at minus 115 on WinBet. So I have it here on the bet tracker, as you can see here. And I just I like the bet. I think it's a good bet. So the next one, and these two are directly related, is the Jerick McKinnon over 9.5 receiving yards. So I mentioned Darrell Williams wasn't the receiving back. Well, Jerick McKinnon is. He's been taking more and more of the passing work. I know people remember him from his Vikings days. He's been hurt since then. He really hasn't been able. He hasn't really gotten his career back together since those Vikings days when he was hurt. Obviously, you saw he missed all of 2018 and 2019. He played a little bit in 2020, but wasn't the same. But while he's obviously not the player he was before, his snap percentage has been also increasing since Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hurt. So he went from less than 10%, hovering 10%, up to 31 against the Bills, 28 against Washington, and 31 against Tennessee. So I think he'll probably hover around the 35 to 40% would be my guess. In a game that they're going to be passing more, they're probably trusting him more, and he would have gone over this total 2 of the past 3 games. So in this case, I think this is a trend that I would like to follow, as opposed to the Darrell Williams. It was a trend that I would like to fade. Sometimes just because he's hit it 3 games in a row, that doesn't mean he's going to continue to. It'd be more likely that since he's not really the receiving back that we're used to seeing, that it would go lower. So that's why I like the Jerick McKinnon. And 9.5, I mean, he could take 1 screen and he could hit that, especially for a Chiefs offense as explosive as they are. They hit a bunch of big plays to Kelce and to Hill, and that just leaves kind of the underground game for Jerick McKinnon, who's, I think, going to be more of their passing down back. Leaves it open for him. So the bet, like I said, is Jerick McKinnon over 9.5 receiving yards. So the OddsJam sharpest line has that at minus 135. That is another one that we're getting at minus 110. So it's minus 115 the last one. This one's minus 110. You can get that at Caesar and on FanDuel. I took it on FanDuel, just no reason. That's just the one I chose. So if you want to, again, take out the VIG to find the fair odds. So it looks like the sharpest line has it at plus 103 and minus 135. So let's put that in, minus 135, plus 103. So it looks like the true line on that is minus 116, which gives you about a 53% chance of hitting. We're getting that at, like I said, at minus 110. So there's the positive expected value. I believe minus 110 has closer to a 52% chance of hitting. So this one obviously isn't as big as some of the ones you'll see, but I still like it. So I think it's a good bet. So that's the one I'm going to be taking. So just to recap, my two $100 positive expected value plays are the Darrell Williams under 2.5 receptions and the Jerick McKinnon over 9.5 receiving yards. Obviously, those two are related, so my guess would be if one hits, then both will hit, and if one doesn't hit, then the other one won't. But I'm willing to take those odds, and I'm willing to take the chance to get the two right because like I said, I've been a little bit cold recently. I could really use a win in these to get to get back in the win column here. So those are my two plays. I think they're gonna be good. I got a lot of faith and trust in them. So if you have any questions, if you want to reach out with any feedback, I monitor the comments, but you can also find me on Twitter at Modi_sports. You can also send me an email at Matthew@oddsjam.com. We're very responsive on both ways, so we'd love to hear your feedback. And other than that, that's all I got for you. So happy betting, happy watching, and good luck.